Hello, happy Monday to all of you, and welcome to our first Marketing Advice Monday, where I answer questions posed by members of our group, questions that my clients are asking, questions that I'm just kind of seeing around the industry, a place for us to dive in and talk about how to market your practice and how to do it well. Hey, Holly, thanks so much for joining. We had a really great question posed by a new member of our group, Lori, who just recently started her private practice and has got a website up and running, has got a Psychology Today profile, and is wondering kind of what do I do next? And this is a question that I get a lot. It's really ultimately why I have created this group and why I offer the services that I do to my clients, because you know that you do good work. But how do you extend that? How do you make yourself visible? How do you find the clients that you actually enjoy instead of just clients that will pay but maybe drain you emotionally or that you really struggle with? So that's what we're going to talk about today: how to create a marketing plan. I could talk on and on about this topic, but I'm going to try and keep it to a decent length. When you think about marketing your practice, there are three basic kind of core elements. Last week we talked about the elements of a website that you have to have, and what your website has to be able to do. So your website is one of those cornerstones. The other two cornerstones are a niche and a message, which I'll talk about, and then basic SEO. This is what your marketing plan is based on. This is not your marketing plan, but it's where you should start. So your niche and your message. Your niche and your message, I'm sure you've heard about niching. People love to talk about it in the counseling and therapy space, is the population that you serve, the population that you could see yourself working with for the rest of your life. Niches depend, then the success of your niches, the narrowness of your niche, really depends on the area that you're in. So that's kind of the challenging thing that you have to think through as you're developing a niche for yourself. In your area, if you're in a metropolitan area, you can probably niche down really specifically, just because there's just more people. There's more people that will be looking for a really specific service. If you're in more of a rural area, you might not be able to afford to niche down really, really specifically into, girls ages 15 to 18 that struggle with body image issues. Like, that might be too narrow. Whereas if you're in New York City, that it might be very different. So that's really something to think about. If you've niched down really far and you're finding that you're not getting a whole lot of traction, considering kind of bring it up a level. So in that case of a 15 to 18-year-old with body image, struggles, maybe you would serve young women in their body image issues or something like that. So kind of think about how your area impacts that. And your niche, I could do a whole marketing or a whole marketing advice Monday on this, and maybe I will, but your niche is important for two reasons. It's important because it helps position you as the expert that your clients are looking for. They're not looking for a generalist. They're looking for someone that understands exactly what their problems are. So it helps you there, but it also helps you in your marketing. Imagine how much harder it would be to create an effective, say a really effective Google ad, trying to catch a population of 20,000 people. They all have unique needs. They all have unique challenges. They think they see the world differently. All of those kinds of things. It makes it really hard to market yourself. How do you hook anyone if your message is really, really general? So for those two reasons, niching is really important. And from your niche becomes your message. Your message is what you're putting out into the world. It's what you claim to do as part of your private practice. It's the promise that you make to your clients when they come to work with you. So that's your other cornerstone, which is, again, a really foundational element of your success in being able to market yourself, and super dependent on the area that you're in and who you serve. The third one is basic SEO. Fortunately, if you have that first cornerstone, which is an effective website, you've built it on some type of platform that will allow SEO support. So SEO, I did a live on this just last week, so go check that out. I offer a free guide on kind of the 5 basic SEO elements to incorporate into your site. But starting to get Google at least aware of you, a really strategic SEO strategy can cost you a lot of money, and it can be a really great investment if you feel that is necessary for your practice. But at least having a basic foundation of SEO and having kind of a healthy site as it relates to search engine optimization means that Google will find you. Does it mean you're going to rank number one? Maybe not. But when you think about the behavior of your clients as they look for a therapist, it's really unlikely they're just going to click on number one and not continue looking. So as long as you can rank kind of page one and optimize so that you're local in your area and Google knows that, you're in a good place. So those are the basic three of what a marketing plan is built on top of. You need those three things in order for the rest of your marketing to be successful. The reason for that is with your niche and your message comes your website, which comes your SEO. So they all kind of play off of each other. And this is your practice. This is your virtual existence on the internet. It's your identity that you present to the world. It's people's first interaction with you. So it's really important that first interaction is really, really solid and makes that connection right away. So after that foundation, now what? Now you're being told, oh, invest in Psychology Today, pay a lot of money for SEO, Google Ads, referrals, go to your doctor's office. Like, what do you decide to do? One thing that I really encourage my clients to do, I don't think that it's one size fits all. Just like niching isn't one size fits all. It depends on your area. And so when you're thinking about building out a marketing plan, start first with thinking about your own strengths. Because the fact is, a client is going to book with you because they connect with you. So if you're doing a marketing strategy, if you're throwing money at Google Ads and it feels very inauthentic to you, it doesn't feel genuine, they're going to sense that. The quality of the work that you do every single day is based on connection. So I really encourage you to build your marketing plan from a place of understanding of yourself. And making sure that what you decide to do, you feel really good about, because there is something to be said for believing in what you do. And people, clients, customers of anything, of products, of anything that you consume every day, you yourself can sniff out, when someone's not being genuine. It's like those slimy, infomercials where they're just trying to get you to buy, 3 of those fancy knives with $19.95 shipping and handling, So start there. Kind of look inwardly. Do you like to write? How much time are you willing to invest? What tactics have you seen other people do that just kind of turn you off? Stay away from those. It's not one size fits all. And then after you've thought about your strengths, think about your client. So you've done that niching work, right? That was that cornerstone. Where's your client spending your time? If your client is young women with body image issues or challenges, those women are probably spending a lot of time on Instagram. They're definitely online, which is what this group is, modern marketing is all about. It's about people that are living online, but where online? Are there forums that they're in? Where can you start meeting them? Because marketing is all about meeting someone on their own turf and then welcoming them onto yours. So if you can meet them where they're at, if that's Instagram, if maybe they're very self-sufficient, and they are one to look out, kind of look for their own help and look for a blog post or download an ebook or something like that, you can start to understand where it's worth spending your time for your marketing and where it's not. Facebook, Google Ads, paid advertisements of those types can be very, very, very beneficial. They are not critical to your success. And that's one other kind of the third thing that I would really consider as you start to build your marketing plan is don't build your empire, don't build your practice on other people's land. So you can't depend on Psychology Today. You can't depend on Google Ads. What you can depend on is your website, your message, and your ability to become visible, which is through SEO. So if you're really focusing on those 3 things, think about the rest of your marketing as supplementing that, as driving people to your own land. So you're going to meet them on their own turf. That's that marketing, right? Then you're going to bring them onto yours, and you can own that relationship. You can own the experience that they have and really start to foster that connection. So that's kind of the woo-woo part of building a marketing plan that actually works. But then what strategies do you actually decide to employ? Because this is a group about modern marketing, because the clients that you want to fill your practice with are used to being marketed to online and in modern techniques, your online strategy needs to kind of be the meat of your marketing plan. There are a couple sort of different categories that you can use for your online marketing and that basic meat. I recommend that you you choose and commit to no more than two. Effective marketing is marketing that is committed to, that is watched and tweaked as needed. It's really, really hard. I experienced this myself in my own business. You're being told from all different areas to watch this or employ this or pay for this. And it's really easy to, they call it shiny object syndrome. You're like, oh, I'll do Facebook ads and then I'll blog and then I'm supposed to email people. Really try and stay away from that and pick two tactics, two strategies that feel the most genuine to you, that resonate the most with your own clients, and that will bring them onto, into your website and into your experience as easy as possible. So what are those online strategies to consider? Enhanced SEO, looking into a more robust local SEO strategy. There are over, like I mentioned last week, over 200 factors that determine if you're going to rank by Google. So the basic SEO package, that checklist I developed, is just 5 of those 200 things. So if you decide that you really want to invest in that, then learn what you need to learn about SEO and really pour into that and dedicate your time there and see some return. There's also email marketing. Email marketing can be really, really effective for those populations we were talking about that are more inclined to go looking for their own help. So they land on your website and they are, maybe they're an addict or they've been struggling in their marriage, and they're the type that they want to learn a little bit more about their own struggles and maybe do some more self-help before they decide to take the leap into therapy. Email marketing can be a really nice way to do that. Ads, paid ads. Again, there's a cost associated with those, and there's also just there is a stigma around the therapy and counseling space that you may or may not have an opinion about, but can be very effective. If that's what you decide to do, invest in that, devote yourself to that, learn about it, write using those core, niched core messages, write really effective copy, and commit to it. Commit. Social media and blogging are another kind of online element that you can take, which is a little bit of a longer game. It's a longer play. You're not going to see people coming in next week because you're starting a blog strategy, but really great for SEO, totally free. And if you like to write, it's a great output for you, kind of an outlet for you, and is a huge way to position yourself as an expert in the minds of your potential clients. Social media can be used in kind of a similar way as blogging. Depends on if your ideal client is spending time there. So again, you can kind of see how the strategy that you choose depends on what you're good at, the time investment, the monetary investment that you want to make, and then what your client is actually going to resonate with. Last but not least, Psychology Today. I'm a really huge fan of Psychology Today. I always recommend that someone take advantage of some of those 6-month free codes that are out there. It's worth seeing if it works for you. It doesn't work for everyone, unfortunately. It depends a lot on the area that you're in, how saturated it is, but it is absolutely worth a shot. And for a small fee, I believe it's $35 a month. If Psychology Today is bringing you one client a month, you have paid, it's paid for itself. So if you see some return there, I think that that's a really great strategy to kind of set on autopilot. But again, we don't want to build your practice on other people's land, so you can't depend on that. You need to invest in some other strategies where you're committing your time and your energy and your effort and your money into something specific that feels really genuine and authentic to you. So again, those online strategies that I suggest you choose from: enhanced SEO, email marketing, ads, blogging and social media, and then kind of Psychology Today as that additional add-on. So pick no more than 2 and then commit to them for at least 3 months is always my suggestion for my clients. So put together a strategy, decide dive into it, spend a weekend or a week really diving into what you need to know in order to implement those things, and then commit to them. That's what your marketing plan, it's kind of the next layer of your marketing plan. And then on top, the third level of a plan that I suggest for my clients is sort of the cherry on top, which is in-person marketing, which is hugely effective if you have, again, that core foundation. People, even if they meet you in person, even if they hear about you in person, are going to look to your website. They're going to try and find you, and they're going to need to know if you are the expert that they're looking for. So these three things have to be in place, even for those in-person strategies to work. So those in-person strategies to think about, again, think the same way you did for those first that first section, which is, what are you good at? What's going to resonate with your client, and what kind of investment are you willing to make, time-wise and monetarily? In-person strategies, depending on your niche, can be things like doctor referral letters, thinking of the physicians or the other professionals that your ideal clients may be seeing. So again, for a young woman struggling with body image issues, that could be pediatricians or other professionals like that. Even yoga studios, if you're getting into kind of that adolescent and then early 20s, age frame. So get a little bit creative. Where are your clients hanging out in person? What activities are they involved in around town? What other people are they talking to? If you're a faith-based counselor, churches or ministers and pastors can be a really great resource. So think through the lens of your client. What is their day like, and where might they kind of bump into your services and learn about you? Networking with other therapists is, of course, a strong idea. I would never suggest that you don't invest in doing that, building up a referral network, and just the rapport of, having like-minded individuals around you, I think is always a strong idea. Again, but whether or not you have the time and the energy to invest in that is really dependent on where you're at in your practice. Employee assistance programs can be a really interesting addition too. That's something I'm just kind of starting to learn more about. But you will usually have to take a little bit lower rate than your full pay. It can be a really nice way to, again, become visible, become aware, or help other people become aware of you. Often employees will continue therapy even after that EAP is up. So certainly something to look into if, again, your ideal client would be working for an organization that would offer something like that. So very client dependent. You want your marketing plan to be flavored by you and your strengths and your client and their needs. And that is really what an effective plan is built out of. So that's kind of we're about 17 minutes in. So that's sort of a rundown of the process that I take my own clients through and what I really encourage you to think about as you're wanting to put together your own marketing plan. The one thing I would remind you is that marketing is an exercise in being memorable. I think the statistic is that clients will visit your website 3 to 7 times before deciding to book with you. So it's really critical that you stay visible and that you be memorable. So that's why niche is important. That's why your message is important. And that's why what you choose to do has to come from a place of authenticity, because people will connect with that, and that is what will be memorable. So I really encourage you to think through these things, in the next week or so. Make sure that you've got that core 3 down. Download my SEO guide if you need it to take care of that sort of third cornerstone. And then start deciding what makes the most sense for you, your practice, your area, your own strengths, and the needs of your clients in order to meet them. But if you take nothing else away, my suggestion is to commit to it. Don't overload yourself and therefore give less than 100% to a bunch of different tactics. Instead, pick 2 that you're willing to just invest in and test, and you will see returns on that commitment, while a lot of your other peers are unfortunately succumbing to that shiny object syndrome and really struggling with the next big thing, and really not being able to give anything their full attention and their full effort. So those are my suggestions as far as a marketing plan goes. Certainly a little bit difficult because they are not one size fits all. If you're interested in chatting a little bit more about that, I do offer a free strategy session on my site where I would love to dive in that into that with you specifically, talking about your niche and your area to decide on what tactics make the most sense. You can schedule that at walkerstrategyco.com or just leave some questions here in the comments. I am happy to hash through this with you. This is the stuff that I love, and it is with these tactics that clients, get booked out and do it in a way that feels really genuine and authentic to them. You don't have to sacrifice that in order to be successful in your private practice. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm excited to chat with you in the comments. Again, head over to my URL if you're interested in a one-on-one session. I would love to learn more about what you're up to, and we will talk again soon.